Ibra di testa, Tonali, gol! Sandro! Meritato! Sandro!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host today, Anthony Torgrud. We don't have Oliver. I forget why. He had an event.
Something like
graduation, isn't it?
Yeah, Jordan's got some school.
Yeah,
thing
his girlfriend's graduation. That's what it was. She graduated a year ago, but the ceremony isn't until today. I think probably COVID related or something. But anyways, so that's what he's doing. He's out. We got Madison with us right above in my normal spot.
Yeah, I'm in AJ spot, and we got Steph. I got it right.
Oh, ruined it. Yeah. Happy to be back, guys. Obviously filming from your end of the continent, Canada. So yeah, happy to be back and taking Oliver's spot on the top right. But
really, you're on the other
host
side
is down
of the
there.
continent.
Yeah.
He's really close to you.
Yeah,
just across the Great Lake, isn't he?
Wait, where are you?
Winnipeg, Canada. Like central Canada.
No, Winnipeg's West Coast, dog.
Yeah. No, I thought you were in Toronto already.
West Coast.
Not
West Coast is like Vancouver, and we're
he's right in the middle. He's in between Toronto and Vancouver.
Yeah,
he's like Midwest.
Yeah. Comment section is Winnipeg in the West Coast. That would be great.
Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't even fact check it because
we're gonna get shit talked.
But
you Americans don't know world geography.
Yeah,
but anyway,
they can't stop us. This is the North American podcast today.
Yeah.
And Steph is Bionic Man.
Yeah, I've got my leg and a knee brace because I got so excited watching Milan that I tore my ACL. No, I did not. I just got a bit excited Saturday night at bowling and had a bit of an accident. But it means I'm paralyzed and here for you guys today. So yes, happy to be back. Playing bowling. And,
oh, I thought you said something else.
Oh yeah.
Comments are going wild now.
Yeah, misconstrued. But anyway, happy to be back and with AJ hosting at the bottom.
Yeah, so as everyone could tell, we're in a bit of a jovial mood. It's probably because of the result and where we're at right now. We're 4 points away from clinching the title, potentially doing it this weekend if Inter drop any points and we take all three. So, no reason to complain there. We're all pretty thrilled. Who wants to discuss the first game though? Verona. Anyone want to go first?
How many games do we have to discuss?
I mean, really just this one, and then preview for Atalanta. So.
I thought we looked good for most of the game. At the beginning, I was about to say it looked like we're playing with an extra man, and then they scored, so I didn't say that. But I say it week after week. Salamakers is horrible. Some people think he had a pretty decent game, but
I thought he did.
A horrible game. No.
I thought he was involved in both of in our first two goals. He was the I guess assist, but it was so deep back. I just say he started the build up. In my opinion.
Is this hockey?
I mean, it's relevant. You can't just take out one passage of play and say it still would have happened.
But
so.
Tonali again is king.
Yeah, the birthday brace. That's the episode title. Fitting because Stefano's in a brace as well. So
yeah,
we're just rocking the brace theme today. There it is.
Brace out.
Yeah, I mean, Tonali should have had a hat trick. Well, not should have because it definitely was offside, but he scored 3 goals, so that was really exciting to see. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say it's great to see him contributing more to the goals. I think last season he didn't even get a single goal, and then obviously he's been just consistent. He's on 5 this season now so far with a couple of assists. I mean, we'll talk about Leao as well in a bit because obviously his influence to the side is key when it comes to just beating men off the dribble and creating opportunities just from nothing really. But for Tonali to get some goals on his birthday as well, which is just it's a sort of a fantasy story sort of thing. And once again, it just shows his team's character that we can come from a goal behind despite the fact dominating the majority of the first half. We've got chances. It just goes to show you that we do need to sort of work on our conversion. But the fact of the matter is we came from a goal down and we managed to turn things around. It just goes to show you the momentum of the game and how it can swing. And and I think the maturity is definitely evolving in this side, that we're not sort of, falling apart when things aren't looking good. And we could have easily conceded to the pressure, but this side just woke up and made themselves accounted for, and certain players stepped up in those moments. And squad players as well. We'll come on to Florenzi as well. Players who have a bit part in this side, but they're taking those chances and adding what they can to this side, which is, I think, great from an outsider.
Yeah, I think there might have been some questions about the mentality going into this game, but those are gone now. I mean, to come back from behind this late in the season, in this critical of a game, that's huge. And I think that's going to help us going forward. A lot of people would view that as like, okay, this is where the team crumbles. They made their first mistake, it's over. Because we were like that in years past. But the fact that we've now come back to beat them from behind twice this season is pretty impressive. I mean, yeah, they're in ninth place. You know, they're not a world-beating team, but still, they do a number. They have a fantastic coach and Igor Tudor, and I was really nervous for this game, more so than I am for the following two games. So yeah, I think this was our hardest test, and we passed with flying colors. You know, it seemed like we were going up against 12 men for a little bit there. It seemed like everything was just going against us, and then they scored that goal, and I was really starting to doubt it. And then our first goal was a little weird. You know, it was a Leao cross that came off of Tonali's back as he was falling down. Almost looked like he was fouled, like almost for a penalty, but it went in, so it didn't matter. And then they were reviewing it for a foul on us or an offside or something. And
I think it was offside or something.
I was nervous. I thought for sure they were going to take it off of something. I mean, it seems like that's anytime they review a goal for us, it gets negated. So I was really scared, but then it stood. Did we get the second goal after halftime? Yeah, after halftime, right? It was like 50-something minutes in. Again, it was a Leao cross, Tonali tap in. You know, tap in because of the first one. And Mike Grella just liked my tweet. Interesting. I was talking smack about him in that tweet too, so that's funny. What was it? Yeah. Second goal was Tonali again, and then third one, like you said, Florenzi off the bench. He had the fastest substitute goal in Serie A this season, 1 minute and 50 seconds. Coming off the bench, it was his first involvement. 59. Yeah. Okay. See, look at you, Madison, coming in here with the facts, impressing us. But yeah, I mean that's my review of it. So I don't know anything to add.
Damn it! I was so confident.
You gotta look at your background and know like where things are. Like I know
basically go the opposite.
Shelf is on this side. Yeah,
the opposite of where the screen is basically. So anyway, so I think with the goal, especially the equalising goal from Tonali, these are moments in the season where that goal in itself is very simple. Leao taking on his marker, it's a tap in. It's not the most beautiful goals. If you probably remove Leao out of the equation of what he does to get past his marker, but the goal itself, we're at sort of crunch time. So as long as that ball goes in the back of the net, I don't really care how it happens.
That's what matters. Yeah.
Right. And we're not going to, like you're saying, it goes to the AR, it goes to the analysis. I'm expecting no favors at this point in the season from referees because I feel like it's such a controversial moment for them to make something that isn't black and white a goal. So they will look at everything to cover themselves because they don't want Inter Milan going to the presses the next day going, well, that should have been ruled off. And then that could have led us to winning the Scudetto or some crap like that. So they're really having to cover themselves completely and look at every one of, the goals that we concede and the goals that we score. And then obviously like vilify that and might maybe say, there's potentially a foul there and we're offside there. We're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. I don't think any sort of game here. So we really have to score clean goals without.
If only they had that mentality for every game throughout the season.
Right.
Yeah. And we would have won the Scudetto.
I'm thinking of the Spezia game.
Yeah, we would have won it like
We'd
3
be
weeks
one
ago.
game away from the Scudetto.
Yeah. That's crazy to think.
But like I said to you guys, like, look, the adversity of having these moments throughout the season and having these, the Spezia game and the Napoli disallowed goal with Giroud somehow fouling Drangi's, all these moments here that lead up to where we are right now. If this team can get this over the line and win the league, it for myself makes it even more like just such an achievement because it is not only just we're a sort of underdogs to win the league when you really factor in who we have to work with and the money spent on the club compared to our rivals in the league, Juventus and Inter Milan. And then you got to think about injuries, COVID, and even refereeing decisions. The fact they're going against all those four things and leading the table, beating the points made from last season, qualify for the Champions League, and now potentially winning the Scudetto, it just makes it even more emphatic. So, and I will say to anyone who thinks that this makes it a trash league, that Milan are potentially going to win it, just worry about your own teams, man. Because like we're the underdogs. Like you need to back that. I think that's just an incredible story for football, and it's an incredible story when you think about how Milan is going and progressing. And salty fans. There's a certain Roma fan who came out saying that's embarrassment for Calcio if Milan win the league. Just worry about your bonsai tree crap trash league team, and just I just can't stand it, man. Just like I don't understand how you can hate what Milan's doing right now and find it an attack on the league. But
I mean, it's just impressive that our
it's
team,
impressive.
We are leading teams like Juve and Inter to hopefully win. Knock on wood.
I agree. I mean, I don't know if we want to call it a Cinderella story, but statistically, it kind of is. If you look at it, the day before the season kicked off, we were given a 10% chance to win the league by the 538, the Sport Power Index. They do that probability equation thing, so it's decently accurate. And now we have a 79% chance. We're the clear favorites by a long shot. But when we started, I mean, we were given less than a 50% chance to even get Champions League, let alone the title. So we've come a long way, and we're now on our highest point tally on 80 since the 11-12 season, the season after we won it. The season we did win it, we only had 82 points. So if we win against Atalanta, we break that, and it's our highest goal tally in a long time. And so to go back to your point, people saying this would be the weakest side to win Serie A in 20 years or whatever it was. Well, we'd have more points than when we won it in 10-11. So that just simply isn't true. And not to mention some of those years, 05 or 04-05 didn't have a champion because Juventus had it taken away. 05-06, Inter was gifted it because Juventus cheated and it was taken away. So that doesn't count either. So, I mean, there's plenty of things, not to mention you'll get the modern game and the evolution of it from the past. I guarantee we're better than the first 5 of those 9 consecutive Juve titles.
It's true.
It's a silly argument to make that we're weak just because it's a close table. If anything, that shows how strong the league is and how much stronger we are. So I don't know. I think that's a dumb argument.
I think it's just like, look, yes, you can look at the side and go, like, on paper, where's the talent coming from? And if that's the case, then I'd say yes, this is on paper probably one of the, not one of the, when you look back in history and we think about this Milan, it's like, if they go and win the league, obviously we need to remember that the job's still not done yet. But if they do win the league with this side, and you think about how old Ibra is, and you think about players like Salamakers and Krunic being there, these are players that will look back and go like, oh, they were one of the best in the league at the time. Then talk about the heart. Talk about the heart of this side. Talk about the coaching. Talk about the development. Talk about the story in itself. There's some of these players and the value that they were bought for and the value that they are right now and the trajectory of the club in its banter era. That's the story. That's the heart. And that's the thing that makes this potential, Scudetto winning side brilliant. But some fans, it's just not enough for them. But they're neutral fans. They have nothing to do with what we're doing right now. So less about their noise and more about what we're doing. So,
I feel like if we do go off and win the league, I would put it on Tonali's back. I feel like the second half of the season, he's been unreal. Whether it's been, he's been winning us games the past 3 games or 2 games, Lazio and Hellas.
He doesn't score that late winner against Lazio, it's done,
Right.
We're out.
Yeah, I mean,
not out. We're just down by 1 point.
I do think it gives you that shift in momentum, though. It does give us that kickstart energy sort of thing, which we've
because the day after that, or the game after that, was Inter Bologna when they fumbled. Had they beat Inter Bologna and we only drew with Lazio, it would be a huge difference. Now it wouldn't just be level. They would have passed us, I think.
Yeah.
So Tonali's definitely been huge. I mean, he's playing practically as a forward. We saw that yesterday. Wild, he was getting forward and everything. Granted, it was his birthday and I think he wanted the goal, but he has the mentality. He knows what it means to be a Milan fan and to go the distance, and he wants it. And what we're doing now, to come from, like you said, Steph, from the banter era, the last 5-6 seasons, to go
5-6, 10.
However long it's been.
Since 2013-14
was our last
13-14,
Champions
League.
The
season.
But like, even we missed
7 or 8
Champions League and then qualified and then didn't qualify for like.
Oh yeah. I mean, and then we had Giroud who got that banned from us too. Like, it's been a while, and to go up against this reigning Juve side 9 straight, and then this super team of Inter, which is weaker than they were last season, but they're still the strongest team on paper. What we're doing now with what we have, the young squad mixed in with the aging veterans who. Pioli came out yesterday and said Zlatan only has 10 minutes in his legs now. His knee overload's gotten worse. He needs either surgery or retirement. Steph knows. God damn it, Steph knows. I mean, to mix in those older players that aren't getting that much game time with guys like Giroud, who really have been a couple steps behind, and then bring in the younger players who just they're hungry, just want it, like Tonali, like and Florenzi, who's just a boyhood fan. He's on loan. He's not even really a Milan player, but he just wants it. You're mixing all this in, and we're creating something special with one of the lowest scoring offenses in the league in a long time. Our defense is keeping us in it, and I just think it's a fantastic mixture of players who shouldn't be winning a league, but I think will. I think we're at the point now where it's safe to predict that we're probably going to be champions.
Does Paramount show like the celebration?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, this is the first season with Paramount, isn't it?
Second.
Is it? Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch last season's. If it was
right,
But yeah, I mean, we'll probably need to speak a bit more of the last game. But regarding like who's been the best player of the league, and I think like the cast on Paramount spoke about who the potential MVP would be this season. Say if Milan win it, and they spoke about Leao and Mike Mignon. I think that's the brilliance of this side, is that there isn't one outright player. That there are some favourites like Leao, Mignon, but then you have to talk about Tomori, Teo Hernandez, Tonali, Benacer, Kalulu. There are some like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 performances here, regardless, and they're not been the stellar. The 10 out of 10. Like last season was like Kessie and then a few little ones below that, like Teo and Simon Kjaer and Tomori in the second half of the season. But this season, over the whole thing, there's players have stepped up and been accounted for in different months. And they've been different players as well. Benacer had a brilliant March. I remember Teo Hernandez and Leao, the goal contributions they had in January, that was brilliant. So everyone's kind of had their moments to shine in this side. Even Ibra with his sort of 8 goals so far this season. Everyone's sort of been accounted for. But so I think once the sort of dust is settled, it won't be that one guy. I do feel like it's going to go to Leao just because of his 17 goal contributions so far in the league. But I do feel like everyone else has had such valuable contributions.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, we have 16 different goal scorers this season. That's
huge.
Massive. And none of them are crazy high numbers. You get Leao's our only one on double digits in the league. You have Ibra at 8. I think there's Giroud at 9. You have Tonali at 5. You got Kessie on like 3 or 4. I mean, the players are getting stuff. Even Tomori's got, I think, 3. He might have 2. You got Mignon with an assist. He would have had 2 if that first goal wasn't offside. I mean, everyone's contributing 2 goals to the defense. I think we've conceded, was it 8 goals the last month over the last 10 games, something like that?
I think we have the best defense in top 5 leagues.
Definitely in 2022, we have the best defense. Yeah. To go back to what you were talking about, the MVP of the season, personally, I think it's Mignon, just because we did see 2 months with Tatarusanu, and while we won most of those games, we can confidently say we wouldn't be winning the games that we have won. We wouldn't be keeping the clean sheets that we have if Tatarusanu had to go the distance. Whereas
also he came in after losing a fan favorite. Fans turned on him real
you're talking
fast.
about Donnarumma to Mignon,
and
he had to step up a lot.
Instantly took the fans' hearts. Just like
Granted, I mean, all he had to do was have a good game. Yeah, well, I think the beginning of the season, beginning of the podcast season, Ollie said, rate the transfer market. And I said, I'm like a 5 out of 10 on Mignon because I had never seen him. I knew nothing. And I knew we were losing Donnarumma. So I was like, it's either going to go really good or really bad. And it just doesn't do anything for me. And now he's the only jersey I've bought this season. It's been a Mignon jersey. He's like my favorite player of the season. I think Leao definitely is up there. But at the same time, we do have Rebic who could fill in for him. We don't have a Rebic caliber player to fill in for Mignon. I think that's the biggest difference for us. But to take it back to the Verona game, which we kind of didn't really touch on too much, let's do tops and flops. Who wants to go first? Do I go first? Does Ollie normally go first?
I think he does, yeah.
Okay. Well, then my top is the easiest one of all tops is Tonali. 2 goals, the 3 if you count the offside. He was pushing forward the whole time. I don't think he made many defensive mistakes. It was his birthday. He's the poster boy.
Tonali for sure.
Easy. Just to be different, I will go for the guy. I've got 2 assists, Leao. Kind of to bounce off what you're saying about there. Yes, Mignon is crucial for clean sheets, but we need his spark to score goals. He creates something out of nothing. And Tonali, yes, I've got his shirt right next to me. I love him. But just to be a bit different, I'm going to say Leao, just because 2 assists were crucial, just getting something out of nothing and pretty much strongholding us back into this game.
Yep, completely agree. Also, I know Maddie was just slating him earlier, but I do want to give a special shout out to Salamakers because I've done nothing but shit on him. I called him mistake makers. I've called this session tops and Salamakers. Like he's always been my
never called
lowest
it
guy.
that.
I think I did at least once. At least once. Someone in the comments go back and prove Maddie wrong for me, because I'm not going to do the legwork. But he did had a really good game. He was critical in the first 2 goals in the build-up, and I don't think he made many mistakes. He had 2 of his best crosses ever this game. One to Krunic, which was almost a goal. It was a fingertip save to give us a corner.
Good.
So, yeah, I think he had a great game, and he's probably going to start against Atalanta because of it. So we'll see what happens there. But as for flop of the game, that's not hard at all. Actually, I just had to think. Calabria. The goal we conceded was because Calabria loves to drift inside towards the center backs and leave his man unmarked, and then he's got to run back out. And he's just not as fast as Teo, who does the same thing, but Teo's quick enough to recover and make the attacks, whereas Calabria is not. I think he's a great player, and I think he's definitely deserving of a spot on the team. But lately, his defense has left a lot to be desired, and I would not be surprised if next season, if Botman comes in, we see Kalulu as the starting right back.
I think it'd be harsh. Who would you put as captain?
Whoever is next on appearances. I don't know.
I
Probably
don't
Teo.
know who's next.
Teo. I'm giving it to Teo.
Yeah, Teo gets the thing.
I'm going to say Giroud. I feel like he has had a bad couple of games. And there was just so many chances that he could have scored, and he just did not hit the ball well enough.
My issue with Giroud is every time he gets the ball, immediately back pass. Every single time.
Yeah, but it was either a corner or a cross during the first half. Wide open net, and it just went straight down. I'm like, dude, like you are known for heading the ball. What the fuck?
And he hasn't been doing it lately. Like I think he's just tired. He's been played way too much because of Zlatan's injury. So I think Giroud needs a break.
I predicted that at the beginning of the season. Did I not?
It was either you or the other guy who used to be on the show. Said something like that Giroud was going to be the starter by the end of the season. Yeah.
No, I complained about having 2 35-year-old plus starting strikers.
Oh yeah. No, that was definitely you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't complain. He has stepped up in massive games, though, isn't it? I mean, it's a hard one. He's not ideal, isn't it? He's not ideal, but you do kind of want to see better conversion when you think someone has got that experience to sort of. You kind of think like kind of take those chances, even if you get that one opportunity a game. You kind of think if you're going to take it, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. Calabria probably as well. He's been looking a bit. Like I said, these injuries have taken its toll on him when you compare it to how he was at the start of the season. I think he is kind of a shell of his former self, and he does look like he's going to get taken on by every left winger that goes against him, which is kind of concerning. And then when you amplify it, when you see Florenzi come on and score a goal, so it's like his competition's coming on and doing good in the moment. And we know Kalulu's also a fantastic right back when he's called upon. So yeah, I'd kind of go for probably either one of those two. Maybe say Kessie, because I think he did he squandered a few chances in the first half, but I can't really be that critical on him. But I'll kind of go Giroud. I think I'll go Giroud because he's just not scored in a while, and he's not even looked like close to scoring. Maybe that's the way we're playing. Long balls aren't probably working for someone like him because he hasn't got the speed, but nonetheless, he's not looking great. So I'll go Giroud as well.
Yep, fair enough. We'll move on to Atalanta
All
game.
of my flops are like for personal reasons and when they play bad, and Steph has like tactical analysis behind them.
Well, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yours is just
he's doing it right. You're just emotionally driven.
You rotate
between
Giroud and Salamakers. That's
yeah, he just rotates the two. And if Zlatan starts,
if we can get someone to do like what's it called, like tops and flops for the season, I'm pretty sure like what are we on, like 36 games now, but probably like 30 of the Salamakers for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
Even when he's on the bench, Salamakers.
Yeah. Existing.
So moving on to the Atalanta game, which just got its time changed to earlier. It's now at 12. Well, for the three of us, because you'll be in our time zone for this game. So it'll be at noon.
I thought you were about to say like 9 a.m. or something. I was like, fuck.
Nah, it's a little early. Noon's a little early for me, to be honest, but whatever. I'll be, well, because I want to, enjoy the bar. So it'll be a little early with that, but I'll do it. Anyways. Last two games against them, big dubs. Obviously, final game of last season, secure Champions League for the first time in ages. And then earlier this season, Calabria, my flop from last game, scored a first-minute goal. I can't remember how many seconds, but scored immediately. And then Tonali scored, and he's in hot form. And then Leão scored the third one. And then there was a bit of a crisis in the last 5 minutes of the game. We conceded 2, one of them by former Milan player Mario Pasalic. How are we feeling going into this game?
They've been so bad lately that if it was going to be an away game, I'd be a little bit more nervous, but those fans are going to be electric. Because Inter play on Saturday, right?
Yeah, they play immediately at full time, which is bullshit.
Wait, they play when?
It should be the same time.
No. I think
as soon as our game ends, they kick off.
Sunday. They play Sunday straight after.
Oh, I thought that they played right before us, or the day before.
Wait. Do we play Saturday now?
No, we play Sunday.
We play Sunday.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. They play right after
I
us.
thought they played Saturday.
No, yeah, Maddie said
No.
they play Saturday.
Okay.
So I was like,
that stadium's gonna be electric. Atalanta's been in horrible form.
They did just bounce back with a win, though.
Against who?
Spezia away, but
Yes, Spezia away. They beat us.
Yeah.
Well, did they?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I'm expecting us to go hard against them, but I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret because I do have a weird feeling about it.
Yeah. But what do they have to play for? The European spot, I guess. Kind of, they're in the mix there with Roma, Fiorentina, Lazio, those clubs for their Europa League spot. So there's something to play for them. Look, we have a bit of bad blood with them in the past. Gasperini as well is not our biggest fan. The motivation needs to be there for us to win the game, 100%. This is going to be a sold-out crowd, San Siro, last home game of the season. It's all to play for. I keep talking about the team's heart. That can't be lacking in this game, and it has to be there. It's just got to be really down to taking the chances. And they'll come because Atalanta aren't good defensively. Regardless of their, the first team near enough is all back. I think Zapata might be injured for the game. I can't think of anyone else who got injured. Toloi might be injured for the game because they both missed the Spezia game. They might be back. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see about that. But the rest of the sides there. Muriel scored on the weekend against Spezia. He's always quite dangerous to mark. And we also have to watch out, not even just in this game and winning this fixture, the players on a booking. Tomori, Kalulu, Romagnoli, Diaz, and now Rafael Leão. They're booking away if they get it from missing the last game of the season against Sassuolo. So we can come out of this with a win. That's great. But also, if we get a lot of players on bookings, last game of the season away at Sassuolo, that's going to be a dangerous fixture to walk into, especially if we need, say, a draw or a win in that game. And we might be missing some crucial pieces to this side. So it really, once again, has to be the perfect performance, like Verona, where we get the win and we get as little players on bookings as possible. But I'm kind of confident for a win because I just feel like this momentum is just going the right way. And I will be completely shocked if we don't get a win because I just think we have the heart, which is going to be superior to them. And there's going to be some quality there to go with it. And we have the bench as well. The bench is valuable. Players coming off it now, be it Ibra, Florenzi, Redic. They've got contributions to add.
Well, going off of that point there, with the yellow cards, Leão, arguably the most important player of the season, do we start Rebic to save him just in case for that last game, Maybe bring him on later? No? We just go for it?
You
wouldn't
have
even
to
risk
win.
like starting.
Every game's a final.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I thought about this going into the Verona game. I thought, do we play Gabbia or Romagnoli against Verona? Because you look at those 3 remaining games and you kind of think, all right, they're probably the weakest one we might play against, even though they're a tough side in a tough ground. But you might, kind of treat it like a rotation sort of game. But I thought to myself, no, take the risk because every game, the game in itself in front of you is more valuable than the ones that go against it because that's what gives you the momentum going into those remaining fixtures. So if we made a mistake and started the wrong player in the game, our next game, and got a negative result, then all of a sudden all you've done to rotate for is meant for nothing because now you go into the other games and we haven't got our advantage, like the points advantage, and we haven't got the momentum. You need to just take every game, like Maddie said, as a final and play the strongest side. and then just go from there. Luck, referee, whatever happens after that point, at least we know that we've done what we can to field the best 11.
And there's still no guarantee that Inter are going to win their game as well. They're fighting Cagliari, who's fighting for salvation. Plus, they play Juventus in the cup final midweek, so they might be exhausted. That goes to penalties. It goes 120 minutes. Say they lose it even. Exactly. Fingers crossed that their mentality is going to be shot. You could already tell how they almost lost to Empoli. I mean, I think mentally they're the weakest they've been all season. Yeah. Even if they're getting results, it's just because of the destiny's in our hands. There's nothing they could do but win. And if we continue to win, it makes it that much harder for them each and every time. And if we win, if we both win, it'd be 2-point difference in the final game. So still could go to the last game, but it'll be intense. I think we're going to win this one, and it's going to be really tough, really tight. I'm going to say 1-0, and I'm going to say Atalanta is going to have a late penalty to equalize, and Pasalic is going to purposely miss it.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 3-1 Milan again. And Inter's going to draw.
And that's it. That's title.
That's title. As we're walking around DC celebrating.
Without
shirts.
No, we're hanging out on Sunday. Don't you worry.
We go in Squadlands as well. See, this is annoying because I every time I go for a win, when I'm on the podcast, it never happens. So I usually go for a draw, and it's sort of like unjinx it. Even though I'm saying that, and that could like jinx it, it seems to work out. It's great. I think we're gonna win it. I'll go for 2-1. 2-1. And I think who's going to score in this game? I think Giroud's going to score. I'm not sure about anyone else, but I think we're going to win this 2-1.
What's weird is I got a DM on Instagram from a friend of mine who doesn't watch football consistently, who asked me about the Milan game yesterday. I said we won, and I was like, we're 4 points away from getting the title. And he's like, that should be easy with Giroud. And I was like, that's a really weird shout out because he's been ass lately. But because of that, I'm confident that you're right and he's going to score now.
Yeah.
So
big game player.
He really is. I mean, the way he turned around the derby was fantastic.
Napoli.
There was something else I was going to say about this game, and I can't remember what it was. So I guess we'll just.
I think, like you're saying there, the players we have to watch out for. Pasalic, he's in great form. When you look at his goal contributions this season, he's someone you just can't leave unattended in the box. Muriel counter attacks, he's very deadly. Malinovsky, that left foot. There's some good players there. It's just, it's a tough game. We can't forget about their quality. Can't forget about what they have to fight for. But I think what we have to fight for is superior. And let's go down there, and let's get the win. It's as simple as that. That.
I mean, there's a reason we're fighting for the title and they're fighting for Europe. It's because we're a better team. So, if that's what it comes down to, I think we have the upper hand here. And final home game, we're going to probably debut our new jersey for next season.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to ask about that. I mean, we've seen like leaks and potential rumors, but
I haven't heard any confirmation. But that's typically
the game's
what
like
happens.
6 days away now. You kind of think something might get leaked. We might find out more this week, but
probably Wednesday. I would imagine.
As long as it's not that trash fourth jersey worn again, I'll be happy. Honestly.
Have we
Do
only
we think
worn
fourth
it once?
jerseys? Yeah, and hopefully that's it. Do we think fourth jerseys are going to be a thing moving forward, or was this a one-off?
Yes.
Hopefully,
No, it's going to be a thing.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Although I did see, because I went to buy the jacket you're wearing right now, Steph. I went to buy it yesterday. Puma was sold out, but they're selling the fourth jersey for $200 flat without any customization. I was like, no one wants this. This
crazy.
Is an awful shirt.
It's crazy. But... Well, it's because it's. Is it? Do they merge the brand with that Neiman,
something like that?
Which is
Neiman,
they're like a high. Like I've seen some of their merchandise in Selfridges in London, which is they got the higher end brands, and a lot of their stuff goes for like the 200, 300, 400 pound mark. So it's sort of like they are merging in a bit with that higher brand marketing, kind of what we did with the whole Baller brand, and releasing stuff for more than what a traditional fan would pay for. I just don't think they're going to get. I mean, it got a lot of sales, but I mean, I don't know. They need to work on the appearance of it.
Yeah. I mean, I like that we're doing these. I guess we'll switch talking points since we're doing that. I like that we're doing a lot of these
like collabs,
collaborations. I think that's really smart. That's the PSG route to becoming a brand and not just a club. And I think that's necessary to take it to the next level. So we're definitely moving in the right direction with that. And I guess the next talking point is kind of building off of that takeover. There's now a new organization interested that might have a better bid. Redbird Investments or something like that. They own.
I'm not about it.
I think they have. Don't they have like minority in Liverpool or something like that?
Their name is the Redbird Investment Corp, and they own minority in Liverpool, who has a bird on their jersey or something.
Do you know why it's called Redbird though?
No.
It's not Liverpool. The founder of its last name is Cardinal. Well, in Italian, Cardinale or whatever. But yeah, it's Cardinal. So Redbird.
Well, in my head, it's because they own part of Liverpool, and it's bullshit.
Maybe we could see LeBron James wearing a Milan shirt.
They created the company from the point of taking.
I was making a joke, but
to be fair, Milan did that with Yanghong. Remember?
What?
They called it Rossoneri Investment Lux was the holding company that owned Milan. What is it, Yanghong in Luxembourg? And that lasted a good 8 months. So it shows you how great that is.
Could you imagine if we got new owners and they defaulted?
I think that was a part of why the Investicorp was not as favorable anymore, is because they wanted to use loans for like 200 million, but they still were paying $1 billion up front. So I'm sure they're good for it, you know?
Yeah. I think there's, like the old saying, there's no smoke without fire. I do think because they came out first and made the initial contact of a bid, then you are going to get other potential bidders coming in. I just think there's a lot of groundwork there, and the way the team, not the club, the club has made things under, not really commented so much about it publicly about any bids, probably to not distract us for the rest of the season. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like we'll get towards the end of the season, well, late May, and then it will get announced. And I do feel like it's going to be them. I do feel like it's going to be Investcorp. Because the money involved, even if there is a bit on loans, I just feel like if the profile is good enough, look, hopefully Elliot just need to give us, if they're going to sell us, just sell us to the company who's going to put us in the right direction and for our best interests as fans and supporters for the club. But
I think they need to look for something kind of similar to what Chelsea did, where the Todd Boehly or whoever just bought them in the deal. A portion of the purchase fee, I think it was like 1.25 billion, was going to go to specifically improving the stadium, the women's team, the youth academy, and the facilities sectors. So I think that is the right method, because then it shows a commitment to continued growth, to developing the team, and not just buying a new asset, So if we get someone who could do that, I mean, granted, we're not going to be able to get that big of a commitment. Chelsea was bought for $4 billion.
But we can do a bid process. And you have to have your bids in by XYZ.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what Chelsea did, obviously, for different reasons. But yeah, it clearly works out. So I don't know. I think it might be a good idea. But to get any sort of commitment to development is going to be huge. We're still going to be the second club to ever go for over $1 billion. So definitely massive, definitely a big takeover regardless. Are there any other talking points? I mean, the Scudetto, but that's all we've really talked about for 40 minutes here. I think that might be the only big news. Just to take a quick little check.
I'll probably just say, I don't know if you guys spoken much about Renato Sanchez and whether that deal looks close to be happening as part of the, the round of deals we're sort of expecting at the end of May, start of the transfer window. Obviously, Origi looks like it's locked in on a free transfer, and Botman as well. But it seems like it's coming out even more. I got a phone call from a friend who somehow knew the representative. He's friends with a representative from Lyon randomly, but it's like common knowledge in that league that it's been a done deal for Renato to Milan for quite a few months now. Well, as close to being a done deal, it seems to be known caliber that he's going to come to us. And I'm really excited with that. I do feel like that deal was going to happen. I've sort of been backing that since probably November, December now. I feel like that's the player we should be going for. It's going to sort of evolve us into a 4-3-3 and help our midfield play football. I'm just really excited for that deal to potentially be happening. And I just feel like it'd be great for us, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Nicolo Shearer has been kind of saying the same thing, that it's, as anticipated, it's essentially done, just needs final paperwork signing, things like that. Agreements are made. And yesterday, I just went to check to pull it up, but it's already down. Right after the game yesterday, Renato put on his story like Forza Ragazzi or whatever, and a picture of Leao and Tonali. So, I mean, that's about as indicative as it gets, right?
Yeah. Well, we saw after the Fiorentina game, like Jonathan Ikone, and it was him, Rafael Leao, Mignon, and I think Ballatore, because obviously they got the Lille connections from the past and being there at the same time. There just seems to be such like unison between us and that club, not like invertedly, but like just sort of transfers and players now playing in Serie A. I just feel like all roads lead for Renato and obviously Botman to be joining us and sort of adding to this sort of like little family that we have at the club. So I'm really excited for it because I think
it'll go well. Yeah, and then add in Botman as well, another Lille guy, and I think it'll be good. I'm backtracking on my desire for Jonathan David just because I'm seeing he's not too hot anymore. He's got like 1 in 18 or something. Really abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who's currently living in Canada, I love him to come. I just feel like we need to assess the price tag involved because, as you're saying, the form hasn't been great. Is this probably the best time to sign him because Lille aren't going to make the top 4, and because his form isn't at its best right now? Probably his price tag will go down naturally. Kind of similar to when Juventus bought Vlahovic at the point when they bought him, that his price tag's at its highest, so you got to pay premium. Now it will probably come down from 70 mil or how much like Lille might want the player, and might come more around that sort of 40 to 50 million mark. And that might be something we might be able to do with a sort of 3-in-1 sort of deal with Renato, Botman, and him. But it's all just up in the air right now until we know the new ownership and the money have to deal with and what's going to happen with our squad, with Ibra, etc. So just focus about the positions that we do need to replace for at the moment, but we'll find out more.
Yep, I agree. Maddie, anything you want to add before we get to questions? Nope. All right, we'll get to questions then because we do have a lot of them. Going to start with this one who actually asked it last week, and Ollie said he forgot to read it off, so he asked me to read it off this week. But it's from Maldini. He said, over the last month or so, we've had key players lose form, leading to a dip in our performances. This happens to a lot of teams over the season. What do you think should be Milan's solution to reduce the impact of this?
I think we need to create depth and players who can come off the bench and make a difference. Right now, we don't have that.
We've improved on it, though, I would say.
We have.
Since
last season.
We
just need to continue to improve.
Yeah, I think it's happened, but I don't think it's been as bad as it's been in seasons past. Like it's not as detrimental. I mean, we're still getting the results. We're unbeaten in 18 games, or 13, 14. I don't know. It's double digits. It's decently high. I think we got the longest or second longest unbeaten run in Europe right now behind Liverpool. So we're definitely still figuring it out. And then this is from this week, same guy, Maldini. He actually mentions that Ollie promised to look the other one, so you're welcome. We asked it. His other question, Osimhen for 100 million or Darwin Núñez for 70 million? If we had the money, who should we go for?
Make Napoli completely irrelevant. That's a
but you give him 100 million. Who are they buying,
They ain't buying no one. That's probably going to the city to help fix the toilets or something like that. Sorry, Napoli fans. What would I go for? I'd probably go for, I don't know. I'd probably go for Darwin Núñez. I don't know what it is about buying players from outside the league. I just feel like you're not paying that excess premium. He looks great, like that sort of all-in-one centre forward. Great in the air.
Did we lose
Great
Steph
at both feet. Oh, am I still there?
I think we lost AJ.
Oh, I thought we lost Steph, but apparently it was me who lagged out.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
I was like, we lost Steph.
And then you froze like
you guys vanished. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, did I look good?
But yeah, sorry, I'm just going to wrap up. But with Darwin Núñez, I think he's like, the way he's playing in the Champions League as well. Look, they're both really great players. You can't really sort of fault from getting any of the sort of two centre forwards, but I just preferably would probably go for Darwin Núñez from what I've seen partially.
Manny?
What was the question? I don't even remember the question.
Darwin Núñez or Osimhen. But Osimhen for like 100 mil or Darwin Núñez for 70. Who would you go for if it was possible?
What Steph said.
Okay, sounds good. Next question.
I feel like AJ and I talk about this each week. We know Milan players, and that's about it.
I know who both of these players are. Keep me
I've
out
heard
of
of
this
them, but I couldn't tell you anything about them.
I think Darwin Núñez is going to United. I think I heard that there was already an agreement there. So, and I know Ollie's a big fan of him. I'm really not a fan of buying anyone from the Portuguese league. I feel like they're always inflated price tag and they're hit or miss, or they take a while to develop. So,
Who was the
not
last
my
one we
cup of
bought?
tea.
Probably Andre Silva, I guess, isn't it?
I believe
I
so.
think.
Yeah.
Who's the guy on Red Bull that we've been linked with?
Nkunku.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Kuka, he'd be great. I
Yeah,
smoked
so-
you in FIFA with him, Maddie. That he scored
Yeah.
4 goals in 12 minutes. Remember that?
But he's not like a traditional centre forward, even though he does play as like he could play like false nine or right wing, and he's adaptable. And I think if we can go for someone like him for a high price tag, I think he'd be great because you get someone else who can take on a man. And the goal he got midweek, I can't remember who they played in the semi-final. I think it was Rangers or something like that. What a fantastic finish! These are talents who are just wanted by Europe's elite. So we'll be in hefty competition if we do go for them. So yeah, I'll be happy with any of them. But yeah, I think out of those two centre forwards, I might just kind of shift and Darwin Núñez.
But if we're not competing with the biggest clubs in Europe for players, then we're not going after the right players. You know, if we're trying to defend a title next season, then we need to be going for the elite guys. So I'm all for it. Next question from Gio Rosanero. Are we worried about Tomori, Klou, and Leão going in the Atalanta game? 1 yellow away from suspension. We kind of touched on that already, but I just want to read the question, so we'll skip over that. But also now you can add, or he didn't mention Leão, never mind. So yeah, touched on it. Scary. Next question from Abdullah. Shout out Abdullah. We watched the game together, and he bought me Dairy Queen after, so thank you for that. He also saw me drive my car into a curb, so yeah, it was higher. You know, my car's a little low. Normally, you could like drive over the curb a little bit. I went straight into it.
Was this before or after you were drinking?
I mean, I wasn't driving, but it was after the game. So yeah, there was a little bit of paint left on the curb there. But anyways, he said, how much would you be willing to give Leão to renew? What's the max you'd be giving him? And who would you prefer take over, InvestCorp or Redbird? Kind of answer that one with InvestCorp. But as for Leão, whatever he wants.
No, I feel like you need to still make him earn his money.
Has he not?
He has, but I mean, like, we don't know what he's asking for.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I compared it. I can't remember if I said this when I spoke to another YouTube channel, a guy called Kush. I said, look, Lautaro Martinez earns about 6 to 6.5 mil a season. I think you pay him around that. If he wants to go up, and you think his contributions to the side this season have been quite similar to what Lautaro has given Inter Milan. Similar age group as well. Yes, there is time for him to earn more, but I just think he is looking like that caliber of a player who should be earning around what some of the top earners in Serie A earn. You know, you think about players like De Ligt and what he contributes, and he's one of the top earners in Serie A. Yes, he's had a fantastic season with Ajax, and not to go off key, but with Leão this season, he has been instrumental to this side. So I just think you kind of hit around that 5.5 to 6 mil figure because you consider the talent that you have here. We can't lose him on the free. So it's just it's going to be an interesting summer. We need to get that deal wrapped up hopefully before July. And if we can go up to 5.5, 6 mil, that would be sort of my height maximum.
Yeah, and I would stretch it to 7 if he asked for 7. I would be willing to stretch that. I'm just looking at the stats for the lineup. As you could kind of see, green all around, 1 blue, and the guy asking for 9 million, lowest score, Kessie. Leão 8.5. So I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know.
And like you need to spend on your attackers.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing as well. Attackers just simply earn more money than some of the other players. So, yeah.
Yep. Next question from Football Kareem. He said, should Krunic start the next 2 games? Also, any team in particular you'd love Milan to face in Champions League next season? I like that question a lot. I still want us to play against PSG. I know that we're not going to get them in the group stage if we win the title because we'll both be pot 1. But I would like to have that matchup against Donnarumma. And obviously, it is stacked team, Messi, Mbappe, if he stays, Neymar. I want to see us play the best. So that's who I would like to see us go against. And
that's funny. I want an easy schedule so we get to the group or the knockout round.
Well, if we win the Scudetto, we're going to have an easy group being in pot 1. Well, easy, comparatively.
Right. We could get Barcelona. That's not easy.
Yeah,
easier than it was 3 years ago, but
they crashed out of Europa League, so it could be easy.
It depends. It all depends on the summer, and I guess if we bring in some really top talents to the club. But I was going to say something about Krunic when we were talking about Hellas. A typical underrated player in what he can give you to this side. He's not perfect in attack. He's not perfect in defense, but he gives you efficiency on both sides nonetheless. And he does get the chances. And he's not as disappointing as someone as Diaz is, or is not as young as someone as Daniel Maldini is. I think he does start against Atalanta, and we'll see how we go from there, because we're going to need him to help out the side defensively, and just give us a bit more.
Not to mention Brahim's on the yellow, so I mean, might as well. I mean, it doesn't matter, but
it's not looking good. It's not looking good for him. Like, not to lie and not to go off topic, but it's not looking good for him right now at the club. I don't think he's not being played just because he's on the yellow. I just feel like he's playing really bad football, and I think players like the fact they're not even attacking midfielders like Krunic and Kessie are getting the nods ahead of him to start is sort of damning on how his sort of season has gone from October. But yeah, who would like to see us play next season in the Champions League? Personally, being biased from London, wouldn't mind seeing whoever comes out and gets the Champions League spot out of Tottenham and Arsenal, just so I can get a local game to maybe watch.
Yeah, I like it. Let's see. We got a lot of questions, so I'm just kind of grazing over them because we're close to time here.
Because you're conscious of time.
Yeah, because I'm conscious of time, and because I actually have to start my real job pretty soon here. I just want to read this one because we touched on it already, but I'm glad that we're not the only people to notice it. This is from Chunker007. What do you think about Giroud always flicking the ball when he receives a pass instead of just making the simple pass or holding onto the ball for a player to make a run? All his flicks end up with the opposition getting the ball. It is becoming so annoying. Yes, we see you, we hear you, we agree. Next one from Aldi Baron. 10 come from behind wins on the season and a never say die attitude forged from that night in Rio Ave. What will it take before Milan fans actually will become released from their banter era PTSD and not believe a collapse is coming with every setback? Well, I think winning the Scudetto, that'll change it.
Yeah. I think that's because we also think about Pioli and his sort of history of, fumbling the ball. I think a trophy would be great for us and for him to get us to believe that we are in it for the long haul and we can go the distance.
It's interesting to kind of get off topic, but staying on that point is everyone says like Spalletti and Inzaghi are serial winners, but Inzaghi's only won a Coppa Italia. Spalletti's only won the Russian Premier League. He's never won anything outside of that. He won a couple Coppa Italias in the early 2000s, but that hardly counts in 2022. So, and then you look at Pioli, who people say is a serial loser, but he's about to do what those other guys haven't done, win Serie A. So I think the narrative around Pioli has changed a lot. And I'll be the first to admit I was not excited for his appointment. I didn't want it. I was devastated.
It was kind of like a Gianpaolo 2.0, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was nervous.
What felt that way.
Let's also not pretend like he didn't have a rough start. We didn't finish high at the end of the first season. We finished in 6th, and we didn't get Europe because of the we had a ban or whatever. We got kicked out of it. But he didn't have the hottest start. So
I don't know. He had to sort of salvage things a little bit, and then COVID. That was the COVID season, wasn't it? And then we did get Europa League spot at the end of the season.
We won. I think we got it on the final game of the season.
Yeah, against.
But we got kicked out.
Yeah. Did we get kicked out? I thought that was the season before.
I thought it was that season.
No, I think we took it because he's been with us to be the end of his kind of like 3rd season, and the end of his first season was a COVID one. Then we got the Europa League spot, and then had Europa League last season, and then this season obviously we got the champ.
Okay, yeah. Right,
I think the year we took a bye on the Europa League was Gianpaolo's season. That's
maybe
how we're sort of able to concentrate on on
Gianpaolo had 8 games, right? Or 7 games?
8 or 9, something like that, yeah.
8 too many.
It was enough to set us back like a couple seasons. It was awful.
Yeah.
But we also barely finished. Like we barely missed out on Champions League that season, I think, right?
No, I think
the Pioli one?
We finished 6th last day of the season.
We were just I think you're
thinking of the Gattuso season.
Gattuso season, yeah. That was the season
prior.
I think that's season before. Yeah. Season before Gianpaolo takes over because Gattuso steps down, and then Yeah.
What a step back that was.
Yeah,
Well,
seriously.
Yeah. But no,
But it
I
all
think,
worked out in the end.
you're right about the narrative, and I think you can't really take anything into account because you got to think the highest earning coaches in the league are, Allegri and Mourinho, who are at sides who are, are not doing well this
And
season.
only one of them is in a European final.
Don't need to talk about that league.
It doesn't even count. Circumcision League. No thanks.
The Intertoto Cup.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a randomly generated FIFA tournament when you look at the teams that were in that crap.
The final looks more competitive than the Europa final, though.
I don't even know who's.
Rangers.
It's Rangers and Roma.
No, it's Rangers and Frankfurt in the Europa League, and then
then who's in the Conference League final?
Roma and some Dutch team.
Feyenoord, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Feyenoord. Yeah. Okay.
I knew I just
Feyenoord's
didn't want to say it because I didn't know how to say it.
That's funny.
I think I probably said it wrong either. It might be Feyenoord.
For a second, you guys are proving me right, though, that no one pays attention to that crap because we couldn't think of it. But let's see. This is from LG Bahia. If/when we win the Scudetto, Maldini is elevated from player legend to complete football legend. Few great players see the success in the front office that Maldini has had in such a short time. Not a question. I just wanted to read it off because he's spot on.
Yeah. I think he gets credit, but also you have to credit the team around him, like Moncada, Masada, Gazidis. This has been a complete unit of
because also
success.
like if Gazidis didn't put into effect like the transfer budget or
marketing.
like the I can't think of what I want to say. Like the guidelines.
Yes. Yeah.
Maldini could be out there like spending stupid amounts of money on bullshit players, and like it could have gone the complete opposite way.
Yes. Yeah. Potentially.
You know.
Yeah.
Most of the questions we've actually kind of touched on already, which shows how in line we are with our fan base. So good job, us. But one thing I do want to ask, because I haven't thought of it at all. This is from Giova314. Crotone has been relegated to Series C, and this may give us an edge in negotiations for the Macias loan. Should management consider the option to make the loan permanent for next season as a sub, since we could potentially get him cheaper? The option's already at $4 million, but if we could do like a Tonali situation and make him permanent for $1 million, then why would we say no? Especially if the rumors that Salamaker has bids and he's on his way out, and Samu is leaving as well. Yeah, I think that's smart. Honestly,
he shows that he has heart.
He's got 6 goals.
Salamaker just looks like he's a guy who doesn't know how to play soccer.
Nah,
football.
He's got heart, Salamaker.
He's got heart. He doesn't have brain.
The end product is trash. I don't. If we can get him for cheaper, maybe we need to shift out the right side. Look, Castillo needs to go, and then it's a flip of a coin. Do we sell Salamakers for profit, or do we get Macias for cheaper? But for me personally, neither are long haul players that you can rely upon. One has a bit more potential upside because he's younger. The other one's kind of in his prime. Might give you a good couple of years. I don't know. I just think it's a hard one to call. I do feel like on a loan deal, we have to take up Florenzi. I think he's been great for what he offers to this side, because that's where it's perfect. You have a player who's 25 years old, Calabria, Kalulu as well, who can play there young, and then you had the experienced player who can come off the bench and wrap up games. Florenzi, that we need that on the right side. We need a player right now in his prime, and maybe a younger or an older player there who can add a little bit there as well. So I was a bit away from buying Macias a couple months back. I'm kind of still at that point right now, but I've got faith in management where they decide to do, whether it's him or Salamakers that needs to go.
Yeah, I think Macias isn't going to get any better. I think you know what you're getting with him right now.
Yeah.
6 goals in the season. I mean, compared to the fact that
6
top
goals
guys
on
on 10. I think he's done a pretty good job with Salamakers. There's room for improvement because, like you said, he's young. But also, if the option to buy Macias for $1 million is there and sell Salamakers for, even 8, and then we buy Macias for 1, we're still profit 7. Whereas if we let Macias go and keep Salamakers, we're at 0. So I don't know. I think it makes sense from a financial point of view, especially if we're looking to heavily reinforce other areas. And we're going to need to sign 2 right wingers next season, regardless, because Samu is definitely not staying. We know that for a fact. So we're going to need a starter, and we're going to need a backup. And if one of Macias or Salamakers goes, we have one winger, so we need two regardless. So if we sell Salamakers, buy Macias, there's one, and then we have extra money in our budget to buy more. So I think financially it does make the most sense. But I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't happen either.
Plus, no one wants to see him go back to where he started.
Yeah, if he goes back to or goes to Series C, then I mean, might as well just start doing Uber Eats again, just delivering.
I think it was refrigerator delivery driver.
Yeah.
No,
I think it was Deliveroo or something.
If he goes back there, I reckon he'll get picked up from Serie A side.
Yeah, he
100%,
will.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, especially if he comes away the season with, a league-winning medal. I think, you're saying you talk about his goals, 6 goals, 1 assist this season.
Can you imagine scoring a Champions League game-winning goal against Atletico, winning Serie A, and then your next season is in Series C? There's just no way that happens. So he'll be in Serie A next season for sure.
Selling a lot of fridges.
Yeah, exactly. I think that wraps it up, boys. Anything else we want to say before we go? We're a little over an hour here.
You good?
I'm good.
Yeah. I'd think just obviously hope the boys can bring it home. Need to take the game seriously. We're talking I think the problem is we kind of feel like it's done because we've gotten through 3 out of 5 of these games, tough ended games, but the concentration needs to be there. Inter are still right on our asses. I'm just hoping we get that performance against Atalanta, and I think if we do, I think still Sassuolo there, but just hope they take it seriously, and I hope the heart's there, and I hope we get the win. That's what I care about.
Yep, I agree. Maddie, you're not going to be on next week because you'll be on a plane, correct? Yeah, so Maddie potentially is going to miss the Scudetto winner.
I'm also might not be on the following week because I'm going to have people in town.
Okay, so Maddie's gone for the season. Yeah. Final thoughts before we take your face off the graphic? No.
No,
Okay.
that's good. I said I'm missing because I'll be in Toronto on the Sunday, so I won't be able to make this week. But
Steph is only 4 hours away from me this weekend.
Toronto.
No, he won't, because you'll be with me this weekend or next weekend.
It's like a reverse magnet.
Everyone's moving around.
Yeah.
Well, Alia should supposedly be back. You never know. He likes to tell us day of that he misses and then get mad at Madison when he tells us a week in advance. So we'll see what happens there. But thank you so much, everyone, if you made it this far. Appreciate it. Follow us, check us out, leave a comment for the algorithm, yada, yada, all the generic YouTuber stuff. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you in a week's time.
Eccolo Ante in area di rigore, Ante, Ibra, gol! Vediamo se è buono, ce lo dà buono, ce lo dà buono, ce lo dà